This is Valerie Van Boeven with the Senior Care Industry Netcast, where leaders with 3 or more years in the senior care industry share their advice. So we're going to transition back to your wisdom. What piece of advice would you give to other senior care providers?
I think the most important thing that we need to keep in mind is that every single person that we meet is an individual. And so often we get asked, what are your favorite assisted living communities? Or what's the best memory care for my dad? And I always feel like that's a little bit of a trick question, because I can't answer that without knowing your dad, without knowing your family circumstances. And I think that healthcare as a whole is so siloed. You know, you have your hospitals, you have your nursing homes, you have your assisted living communities, you have memory care communities, you have home care, and they don't. What can happen in one area of healthcare can't always happen in another because of regulatory issues. And so people don't recognize that. And I think that we as human beings like things to be a little bit cookie cutter, like to be able to put things in neat little boxes with bows, and it's just not possible. And that is what is absolutely the very most important thing. Of course, we have our favorite home care providers and our favorite hospices and our favorite assisted living communities, but we have a huge bag of favorites because everybody is so unique, and it's so important to understand exactly what that person needs, what that person will be comfortable with. My grandmother died of Alzheimer's 23 years ago, and I think about where I would have wanted her to be if I was doing this now. And my grandma raised 9 children, and she was a cook, not a chef. She worked in a school, a nursing home, a factory, and so the places that I would love for her might have the the vinyl tablecloths that you change for every holiday with a pot of coffee in the kitchen. That's what I would choose for my grandmother. But we just chose an independent living community for my mother-in-law, and we finally refer to my mother-in-law as Fancy Nancy. So there's a putting green where she's going. So, that's what's so incredibly important to recognize, is that everyone is an individual. And we also have to recognize as adult daughters that we are choosing places for our loved one, not for us. So we need to think all of that through.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great answer. Thank you so much. That is so wise. And not only for seniors or for senior care providers, but for families to hear that. It really is about choosing a place for your parent, not necessarily the place that you might like best.
Right.
I totally agree with you. Thank you for that. Well, Pam, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
doing this episode and for being with us. You have shared your wisdom, and we appreciate that about you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.